See when they switching on me, got my mind right, and they can't CP. Mind start mixing this shit just like a GC. Nigga, I remodel my kitchen off of my EP. Looking like a wizard with minds, but not from DC. Go and get your people, put some money on it. Wish I had $1 for every nigga that fronted on him. Beat drop, nigga, I'm dumping and going dummy on it. He don't stand a chance with me, hitter, I get the hunting for him. California into Hawaii, look at me stunting on him. Local Larry looking for leverage, nigga, that's nothing for him. My reach long, I'm Riddick Bowe. Money made with the counter over the shoulder roll. It's P Jizzle, the top 10, the totem pole. Beanie Siegel, bully the booth, they all know it, dog. Don't ever think these other niggas fucking with me. Clean shot straight from the shooters, I leave them dusting for me.
Welcome to the Real by Let's Talk. Very little technical difficulties going on in that background somewhere. I don't know what's going on, but welcome. Tonight we will be discussing The Shy, Season 8, Episode 2. Very interesting episode. I thought the episode was actually really good. I thought they picked off, one thing I'm glad they did is they picked off literally where they had dropped off with Jake pulling the gun out on Reg. Then Reg deciding to play Russian roulette, which the title of the show was actually White Roulette, which I still don't, White Russian, which I still don't understand the meaning of the title, but I thought it was a good episode. I think that the episode provided more depth. I liked that the kids, the younger people, are being highlighted more. I think that this is the direction that the show should continue to go in. And for me, it has always been about the kids. It's always been about a coming of age story about these kids in this particular area of Chicago. It continues. Lena has surprised me with 2 straight episodes with a dialogue between Emmett and Darnell, which I thought was awesome. Thought was great. And other than that, I think the Tiff Nuck thing with Nuck cleaning his plate at the end of the episode was interesting. I think that little Emmett, little EJ, going with the grandmother is probably 2 seasons behind, but I'm glad it's finally happened. I'm glad she stepped in because that's what most grandparents would have done in that type of situation. But thought the episode was good. The gang's all here. Keisha, for some reason, she can't hear us. We can hear her, so she keeps dropping, unfortunately. What's up, Wayne?
It's all good, man. It's Monday, June 1st, new month. So I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was well done. Of course, when you watch it a couple of times, you can find some things that you could nitpick on. But I think for the most part, it was a really good episode. I liked that Jake finally stood up to Reg. It's something he had to do. Reg just been looking at him as a little kid. And so, just taking advantage of Jake. So it was good to see Jake stand up for himself. It was good to see the young lady come forward and say that she was with Shaad that night. And it was good for the lawyer to see that Victor was actually in the elevator. So hopefully they'll be getting out soon because that blows the case. That blows the case right there. It'll prove that they wasn't there at the time of Alicia's death. So
what I thought was crazy was when she said to the lawyer, "I had a way out and I took it." Like, what was her out? What was her way of getting in trouble? The out was they were still smoking, and this goes back to what you said and me. We had talked about it. I talked about it with Keisha as well. Is that when you start looking at the episode 2-3 times, you start really noticing small stuff, and you don't want to be super critical of something over and over again. But this is why they say first watch usually is the best watch because you'll tend to look at stuff. And I thought that there were some things, as usual, on most TV shows or most programs, definitely ones that we do that just don't add up, don't make sense. But overall, like you said, I loved the episode. I thought it was great. Thought it was interesting. I thought I'm gonna ask you, and I know we discussed it. Didn't you think that Victor and Fatima had closure?
Yeah, I don't. I just don't understand. I know it's the last season, so it's the last season. That's the only reason I could think they're bringing her back. But it's like bringing her back for what? She already told him, life is life, and she's struggling. She out there whoring to make ends meet. So she looked different. Like she even looked different. Um, it's just interesting that they did that. I mean, I like that Dolly's taking EJ. I think that makes sense. Um, and I get what Emmett and Keisha was saying to Tiff, like, you ain't had your son for a year. And now
Yeah.
you all, you know what I'm saying? You wasn't thinking about EJ. You wasn't thinking about him.
And then you seen the Tiff say something slick to Emmett, and then Keisha get involved. What's funny, and you discussed it the other day about this weird dynamic with the cross baby fathers. That even though they're cool, that they would have been had some type of friction and argument. So I was actually surprised that they finally had a moment where Keisha and Tiff was like not agreeing, and she was like, "Chill, like relax, like," because it's more common for them to have bump heads. Like they're all in different directions. Then you look there, and he's holding her head, talking about, I'm for whatever you're support. I'm here to support you. Like, you got a baby, you got a son involved in this too. And it's like, you're not really saying nothing.
Between the four of them is messy. When you consider the fact that Emmett and Tiff was married at one point. They had a baby together. Nuck and Keisha had a baby together. Like, when you think of the trauma that the four of them have been through, it's pretty crazy. They're just adding too many characters for me this year too. Like, the dude gonna come back. He gonna work with Nuck because Nuck feels like he can't trust Bakari anymore. And you got Skinny Dude. Skinny Dude happens to be this dude's girl's baby daddy. Like,
Yeah, it's too much. She with her now man who's working out the street, and she like she wants more, but then she says we thinking about getting back together. Y'all back together already. If you're thinking about it to go back to your baby father, y'all back together already.
Absolutely. Big Mike coming back is interesting. It's interesting.
And who would have thought that that scene with Big Mike was crazy, because out of all the people that knew that Reg was alive, Big Mike knew he was alive. So why is Big Mike mad?
Because Reg ain't checked for him since he been back. And he used to hold Reg down. I'd have been pissed off about that too. Like, you come back from the dead and you don't reach out to the dude that pulled you out of the situation. You really be dead if it wasn't for Big Mike.
Yeah. Little odd. I ain't gonna lie, when he's like, I got a guy, and then you seen them two talking, dude came in there, and I was shocked that it was Big Mike, but we had said last season, like, where's Big Mike? Big Mike, you know how you have those characters, Dwayne, in the show where you be like, he's not a main character, but he's a character that's always been there. Big Mike was there in the beginning, and it's good to see him back because he does have a place. He saved Reg's life at the end of the day. Let me ask you.
I mean, but when you think
they
about
destroy
it,
Reg's character?
not even to move on from that, but when you think about it, I think Big Mike got a good beef. Like, you always had your back. You back in town. You setting up a new crew. You doing all this, and you ain't including me in it. That's odd.
I'm gonna tell you, Wayne. The whole Reg, like, you ever seen a character they do this to a character? Because we loved Reg when he was there. We love Reg. We was upset that Reg left, and now he's back. It's like what happened? Like even the dynamic with Jake is that he was always overprotective of Jake. Right now, I feel like Jake got closer to Victor than he got, but the way he just like dogs Jake is like.
But he been dogging Jake since he was young. Like you can think about the time he made him fight in the street and stuff like that. He, was giving him a gun the first time he was in the hot tub. He definitely ain't been a good influence on Jake. He's been bad for Jake ever since the Shaad began. He really has.
I just think the dynamic is just weird. The whole Reg and coming back. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with Reg.
Jake need Victor way more than he need Reg. That's why he's very vulnerable with Victor. He like when you getting out, like he want him out to help him deal with Reg. Like Jake don't want to deal with Reg no more.
And you knew when he had him come in the party, you already knew what was going to happen. I thought it was going to be something more dumb, but he and his little brother party, he trying to hustle. I'm thinking that they were going to be fighting in there, but you knew that Jake was going to eventually have to kick him out. You seen it coming.
Yeah. He had to. He had to really step up and do that in that moment. But hopefully it's the last we see of Tammy Townsend. I didn't really care for the way they ended her arc. Like, you taking money for Rosalind. How does Rosalind even know who she is? How does Rosalind even know that she was dealing with Shaad? Like, sometimes they'll just throw stuff out there like, yeah, I'm just going to throw this out there on y'all.
Rosalind's character has not been integral enough in the show to have her as a behind-the-scenes manipulator like this. Like, she killed Alicia, and it's like, so she's been behind the scenes watching all the players and all this. Then even with last season, Dwayne, they had the detective back saying how she was trying to get her son out. If she give him somebody, like, where we going with that? Is she coming back and is her son going to get out?
I think they're going to leave that alone. You got to remember, this is the last season. So a show like that, like, you're not invested in her as a character. So, like Tracy, you may see Tracy, you may not.
How you feel about that?
Kev may come back, Kev may not. But I think Kev and Maisha going to come back. It makes sense.
How you feel about Tracy?
I mean, they haven't done anything good with her character through the years. She was in love with Duda, and then they stopped that. Then, she worked very closely with Trig. Then last year, the Jackie Long character was trying to holler at her. You had the Rotimi character trying to holler. It's like all over the place. So once Jada died, Nina and Dre was gone. What is there really there for Tracy to do?
Yeah. Like serves like really no purpose whatsoever when you think about it.
I mean, I think it'd be nice, just because they're wrapping up the series. At least I have come back. In 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah, that just it was it was actually one of the best episodes I ever seen in Shaad. It was as crazy as it may seem. And like we said in the beginning, once I saw that second and third watch, I actually watched it, I think, 4 times. I watched it while I was doing something. And I thought it was really good. I don't understand the new characters coming in. I'm trying to understand like the purpose.
Too many of them.
There's too many of them, right?
Yeah, too many of them. You showed Jackie Wrong's girlfriend last week. Now this week, you showing the love triangle with this new girl. Like, are you really gonna be able to tell all their stories? You still got stories to wrap up with you. But it's funny, if you look at the credits will tell you who the main characters are. And you may be surprised because when they get to the guest stars, they telling you Darnell is not a main character. They got him listed as, basically you got Jacob Lattimore. So basically what they telling you is Jacob Lattimore, well, let me call him Emmett, Keisha, Papa, Jake, and Trig, and now Tiff is the main characters. Then they hit you with Jason Weaver, and then they hit you with guest starring. How do you have Darnell as a guest star, Reg as a guest star, Raquel Robinson? Yeah, she's a guest star. But then I wrote all these down, folks, because I was looking at the credits and it was weird. You got Bakari not listed as a main character. Nuck not listed as that's weird to me that you got them as guest starring. They're integral parts of the story now. So that kind of tells you who the main focus should be, right? And you gave Trig on that level. I don't know. I don't know. That part of it, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to nitpick on it. I watched the coming attractions for next week's show. I thought it was really good. It has me intrigued. But this is one of the best episodes of the show. I put it up in there, my top 3 episodes of all the seasons. Of course, my favorite will and always will remain the Christmas episode they did 2 years back. But it's keeping my interest. It has me looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in this week's episode. And at the end of the day, that's all you can ask, is that they keep you interested. But if I had to say one thing that I don't like about this season, I need happy-go-lucky Papa back. They got Papa too dark this season. And I know he's going through some things. He lost his father. Now he lost Pastor Zeke. He questioning his religion. But he's smoking all the time. He up in the club cussing and doing it. All his content is Papa's choir or whatever it was called.
He said, Jake said, I'm going to need y'all help, Bakari. I need you on the door. And Papa, I need you to take pictures. He's like, I do know how to get angles.
Yeah.
So Papa's content creator, which is interesting. You said that, and that has been the one thing that I never understood. Where are we going with Papa? Going back and forth, like you said, you got him dark now again, which he was dark about season 5, season 6, and he got better with Pastor Zeke. One minute they do certain things with Papa and Bakari. It seemed like they're really going to focus on them, and their trajectory is going this way, and you could see it. I know me and you had even talked about a good spinoff would be Bakari, focusing on him. But it's like, okay, where we
they ass off though.
Definitely
let her transfer to her college.
One of the things that I'm trying to understand is that I don't get if it's ending. A lot of these stories need to be coming to an end. I said it to you the other day. I really believe when the show finally ends, we're gonna have more questions than answers.
Well, that happens with a lot of shows. Shows do that. But I think she's gonna wrap this thing up. It seems like to me she's already wrapped up a few storylines. You know what I mean? She got Zeke out of there, which means you don't need to see his wife no more or the mistress. So they're pretty much done.
Keisha.
You're not going to see her. Yeah. So, so I think they are wrapping some things up. If a person disagrees with the way that they're doing it, I can understand it. But overall, I thought it was excellent. Overall.
Yeah. So, we ain't gonna be here all night. We don't have to be. I mean, it's no need. What we do usually, for those that may be in the chat watching, we rate the show, we rate the episode. Like I said, we're doing season 8, episode 2, review, recap of the show. We do a rating, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. I'll jump out there. I think it was a 9. I think it was a great episode. It was usually, sometimes, definitely in these early episodes, they be so all over the place that they don't make sense. They be what we call throwaway shows. She didn't throw away this show. This show was actually, I know it may sound crazy. I don't know the behind the scenes camera stuff, but it seemed like the editing table, every place of the show was put together. Stories was going on throughout the whole show. You didn't see one scene, go to another scene and be scratching your head like, what does this got to do with? It seemed like all the scenes were all together combined. I really thought this episode was the best episode that I've ever seen in Shy. That's the highest I ever gave it. It was a 9 for the Shy, actually. And I'm looking forward. You were right. I don't like scenes that they show for upcoming episodes. Not because I don't care. It's just that I gotta stay in the moment with the Shy. I don't want to give it too much credit. That's why I'm just giving this episode a 9, because the minute that you have, for me, the minute that I have an expectation of something, I'll just be like, what the hell was that? Like, that was a dumb scene. I remember when you was telling me about the gun scene with Tiff. If I would have seen that at coming attraction, and I would have seen her holding a gun and then realizing it was just Nuck showing her how to shoot before he finished his plate, I would have been a little pissed off. But other than that, episode was great. Great episode. I'm highly, highly satisfied with this episode.
Yeah. But if I had to rate it, I'd give it a 7.5. I thought it was very solid. And they got me looking forward to more, man. Right now, my mind is thinking about next steps and what they could do. I'm thinking about Victor.
Think about that coming attraction you see.
No, but I'm not, that, and let's be honest. At this point, the lawyer has proven has good alibis for them, so they got to be getting out soon. So I'm looking forward to the confrontation that's yet to come between Trig and Reg. Because Trig gonna try to kick him out the house. Reg's gonna be like, "It's my house now," and that is gonna be an interesting battle. Look forward to seeing that. I'm looking for. Listen, in my mind, Kevin got to come back, and Aisha got to come back. I don't want to make this a breeze situation like in another show that we be reviewing, but it only makes sense to bring them back. Bring Kevin and Aisha back, huh?
What about Gemma?
Nah, she can stay in New York with her daddy. So before the season over, does Nina and Dre come back? Which
I will say would have knocked me out if Brandon came back. I know it's probably water under the bridge now, but if he came back and really closed it, I mean,
Jason Mitchell could never come back.
Nina and Dre,
Now, I know Nina went away with the brat character, but you telling me, and Dre went away with the other woman, but you telling me they brought another life into this family, and neither one of them been there to check on the new baby.
And then you got Lene, got the apartment, got the house. How do they pay bills? Does she work anywhere? Is she still in school?
No bills. They playing house.
Yeah, I'm like you. I'm looking forward to it. We both of us, I know this weekend we're both gonna be busy. So, I know I've been catching it on Fridays. You've been having to wait till Sundays because they got some crazy. You wait till Saturday because they got stuff going on with the app on demand. But I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been really looking forward to episodes like this in a while, probably since the first season of Power Book 2 when we did that. Because this episode did it. And I probably will see some previews because I do tend to peek on Instagram every now and then, which is crazy. That's why I probably don't be seeing a lot of the previews because of Instagram. But I'll probably check out Instagram within the next day or two You'll probably catch something, and really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it because it's gonna come quick. I mean, before we know it, it's gonna be July and it's gonna be over.
Quick. Yeah, man. You know, the season's rapidly going through. We 2 episodes through, you know what I'm saying? They got 8 left. And I'm saying, like, just keep hitting us with some hot stuff, man. But don't, like, we have no Hannibal this season. It's weird.
You bring him people, but we only see his wife. She's a known actress. You don't even give her none. You don't give us none of it. Weird, bro.
So we'll see. But it's good. It's good. It's good. I'm very happy with the first 2 episodes. You know, usually we'll always say that, like you said earlier, they'll throw you a dud in there. I don't think they got room for a dud this year.
Yeah. But look, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you guys that may have tuned in. Like I said, we had some technical difficulties starting the show, and then some stuff going on with Keisha's mic up. We could hear her, but she couldn't hear us. And that may be something on my end, believe it or not, because there's a lot of stuff going on my end. But
doing the throwback, Keisha.
Appreciate you guys, chat. Appreciate you, Wayne. Until next time, you know what we always say: the best way for anyone to support what we do is to like, share, subscribe. Until then, take care. Have a great night, great week.
Some niggas chasing views, streams. For me, I chase dollars, and that's the difference. Riding through the city like Eddie, I got my semi on me. Bitches better tie up their shoes if they ain't tripping with me. I don't give a fuck about views, nigga, they listen to me. Hate to call it feminine energy when they